And now, Health Appeal.
Welcome back to Mass Appeal. It's Melanoma Monday, the kickoff to Melanoma Awareness Month. And joining us this morning to tell you everything you need to know about safety in the sun is Meghan Rothschild, melanoma survivor and the founder of Surviving Skin. Meghan, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
For those of us out there who don't know, what exactly is melanoma?
Melanoma is actually the deadliest form of skin cancer. It's not the most common. Basal cell is the most common, but it is the form of skin cancer that can actually kill you.
And what are the best ways that people can kind of take themselves out of harm's way?
Well, there's a lot of different factors that can contribute to a melanoma diagnosis. First and foremost, you want to avoid the sun during the peak hours, between hours of 10 and 2. You don't have to hide out, but just be, don't be out there laying unprotected. You want to wear an SPF of 30 or above every day, even on cloudy days. You want to make sure you're covering all parts of your body that are exposed to the sun.
And what about reapplication? Because oftentimes you put it on in the morning and you forget. It's very important to put it back on and on throughout the day.
Absolutely. A lot of people think, oh, my sunscreen didn't work. I put it on in the morning and then I got a burn later on in the afternoon. That's because we don't use sunscreen appropriately. You have to reapply it every 2 hours, and it should be, enough to cover your entire, like I said, all the areas of skin that are exposed to the sun.
And it's getting warmer out, so if you decide to go out swimming, you have to reapply after you go swimming every time.
Sure. Even if your sunscreen says it's waterproof or sport resistant or anything like that, you have to reapply every 2 hours.
Let's say you've been out in the sun, maybe you've done it for years and years, and you have a pattern of repetition that's not very good. How do you then check yourself, and what's the next step you take to prevent care? Sure,
you want to do a self-skin exam once a month, basically checking all spots on your body that have pigmentation, any freckles, moles, and see if anything's changing or if any new spots show up. And you'd also want to see a dermatologist once a year because, we see our body every day, we see the same spot over and over again. We may have a difficult time noticing a change as opposed to a dermatologist who sees us once a year.
And they have a lot of great pieces of technology and equipment that they can use to help spot it.
Sure, and they use the ABCDEs, which are the warning signs, and they have, they put these funny glasses on when they're looking at your skin that magnifies the spots. So they know what to look for. They're the experts.
It's Melanoma Awareness Month, and as such, there are a bunch of different events going around the valley to promote awareness.
Yes.
And we have a couple of them. One, you're going to be with John O'Brien, actually.
Yeah, John O'Brien from Rock 102. We're speaking at a luncheon tomorrow at the Monte Carlo in West Springfield as part of the Rotary Club. He's actually dealing with a melanoma diagnosis right now.
Yeah.
So.
And that's going to be at 12:15. And you have things going on all throughout the year. If you could give people one piece of advice, what would that be?
To be proactive about your health and make sure the skin is the largest organ in our body. Don't take it for granted and make sure you're paying attention to it.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming. It's always a pleasure having you here, Meghan.
Thanks for having me.
To learn more about Meghan and her story, visit survivingskin.org, and you can learn more about melanoma and its warning signs and how you can protect yourself by visiting mfne.org.